Hey, getting everything started today. Boom, chakalaka laka boom, chakalaka laka boom, boom, chakalaka laka boom.
Sing it, baby.
Are you freezing?
Yes, how'd you know?
Oh my heck! Well, I just seen people posting and stuff, and I thought, holy cow! I haven't talked to you, so I thought, well, I'll just wait till we get on the show, and then we can discuss the weather in Houston. So welcome. This is marketing ideas that work, and we talk about ideas, and I'm Russ Johns, and
I'm
we have
Marian
Marian,
LaSalle.
and we are Agency 258. And what we do is we talk about some of the things that have changed, some of the things that we're doing. Sometimes we have guests. There's a lot of different things that we do to help you understand some of the things that are working in the marketing world, online, social media, and everything else. And there's some news coming out, Marian, and I don't know how much you've been tracking it or following it about the change that Mark Zuckerberg announced last week, or I think it was last week, about the changes in the feeds. And I don't know if you've seen that. What's your take on that? Have you seen anything come up on that?
Well, good morning, good afternoon,
Good
good day,
morning.
everybody. I am so happy to be here, even though I am freezing, as Russ talked about. Yes, marketing ideas that work. We do talk about social media, and you know as well as I do, you have to keep up with it because it's constantly changing and it's going faster and faster and faster. It used to be, I remember a long time ago, that once a year something major would change and everybody would be all like, oh my goodness. And then it was like every 6 months, and then it was once a month, and then once a week, and then every day. And now it's like, okay, let's just try to keep up. Who knows? It's just happening so fast. So you just have to be ready. You have to pivot. You cannot fight it. Um, Facebook is huge. LinkedIn's huge. These social networks that we're on, we have to just be okay with it. Don't fight it. Don't hate it. Don't be a hater.
Don't be a
Just
hater.
go with the flow, right?
Absolutely.
So being flexible is very important. I don't really care when social media has a change like Facebook. I just look and see what the opportunities are. I do know that it's very disruptive sometimes to different people and their businesses. But if you know that ahead of time that it's going to be changing quickly, then you can be a little more flexible. That's
Yeah.
how I feel about it, Russ.
Yeah. Well, and you are a seasoned veteran because you started out as a blogger, and the people that you know this is like blogging 101. I told you so. It's like you build on somebody else's land and they change the rules, and the next thing you know, your business could be, you know, evaporating right under your feet. And so and the reason I bring it up, and the reason I want to make sure people are aware of this is, in the last, how long has it been? The last 2 years, we've seen our organic growth in Facebook reduced over and over, month after month. It just gets lower and lower. And now that Mark Zuckerberg essentially is saying, hey, we want people to start connecting with people. So we're going to reduce the brands and the media and the advertisements and everything else. We're going to reduce that from the feeds, right? And if you're a creator, all of a sudden you're going, hey, how am I going to get my stuff to my audience, right? It's like nobody's going to see it unless they're paying for it, right? So a lot of strategies that businesses are taking are going back to blogging, you know, and we've been blogging since day one, haven't we? Just about.
I would think so. Yes, that was part of our strategy, was to make sure we had a good, solid blog that was consistent and gives a lot of value.
Yeah.
So that was our strategy from the beginning. I don't even think we talked about it. We just know that we have to give good strategies, good content, and it's all about you, the business owner. It's all about our audience, our community, our tribe, whatever you want to call it, whatever the cool word is today. It's all about what they want, what we want as a community, not what we think they want, right? We're constantly trying to find out what it is that is going to be not only interesting, like readable.
Yeah.
I love some of the tools that you use to make sure that it's readable, but also quality information that you can use. You know, I like that saying, news that you can use.
Yeah. I think we did, haven't we?
Right.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it's really are seeing the change right in front of them. The change is taking place. And like you've mentioned so many times, you reminded me so many times, and sometimes I forget and you remind me again. It's like, Russ, let's just stick to our blog. Let's keep going. And we also republish information out to all of these other platforms, right?
Well, I think what you're really leading to is, let's see what your community wants. So they probably want a combination, like podcasting. That to me is a love that you should either fall in love, or you're already loving it, love it even more, because people want to be able to take you with them in their car, when they're mowing the lawn, whatever it is that they're doing. They want to be able to take you with them. You know, we can't make them fit into our strategy, into our life. We have to fit into their life, our clients, our prospects. So if they want a podcast, then you better give it to them. If they want videos, then you better look up YouTube and see how to do it. And if you don't know how and you need more information, of course we can help you with that. But my point is that let's give them what they want. And if they can't get it through social media anymore, unless you pay, then let's not worry about it. Let's just give them what they want.
Well, and we've always referred this to reducing the friction, right? So, and we've attempted to do that because you can go to Agency 258 and go to and I have the links on the show, in the show notes here. And also, if you're listening to this as a podcast, you can go to agency258.com/marketing ideas at work or show. Just click on the link that says show, and it will share all of the content that is in this show with you. So if you're listening to this in the future, you can go there and listen to the shows and get the links to the podcast, to the show, to the YouTube channel, and also our blog is there. So getting access to us, we removed all that friction and made it much easier for people to consume our content, right?
That sentence, remove the friction. Let's unpack that just a little bit, Russ, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I know that the friction for a lot of the business owners that I talk to is technology. Okay, the friction comes in with the technology. They get upset about it. They worry about it. They really, it slows them down.
Yeah.
And so I had somebody look at my LinkedIn profile the other day, and they said, "Oh, I just love what you said there. Do what you do best and farm out the rest." Because if you don't, that friction, even if it doesn't hurt, will slow you down. Friction does slow things down. Now, if you don't care and you're okay with building your business really slow and taking your time, okay. But if you want it to take off as quickly as possible and you want to build your business, then let's lower the friction and do what you do best, and then find experts or people that you can count on to do the rest.
Yeah. And I think, that's the reason why we're so excited about training technology, because so many times business owners get stuck. That's where the bottleneck, the friction is. Some people say bottleneck, it's the roadblock, it's the challenge, it's described in many ways.
Stress.
And yeah. And so we have to, we get excited about it because we've been involved in it for so long, and we can train it and help people get past it, right? And that's part of our secret sauce, is the ability to see where the problem occurs and figure out a solution to get past your roadblocks, remove the friction, right? And so do what you do best, which is usually the business that you created because you're passionate about it. And then the technology, find somebody to help you do that. Right?
Russ, I have a story I'd like to tell real quick.
Okay.
My stories are pretty quick.
Tell a story.
I remember when I first started thinking about owning a real business. I've always been an entrepreneur. I did all kinds of things, roommate referral services, and you name it. I've always had my hands in some kind of business. But when I really started thinking about making a full-time living working on a business, I asked a few CPAs to tell me who was making money. And their response to me was so weird. It was like, well, whatever, it's not about buying a business, and making money. It's about doing what you know how to do, what you're trained to do, what you've gone to college for, And I thought that was such an odd answer to my question. And I'd love to hear your take on that, Russ. You just said, usually you start your business because it's what you're passionate about. Is that really true? Or can you go out and buy a business and not have any passion around it, but still make it go and still be feeling good about it?
That's such an interesting question, Marian,
I know it.
Because here's my take on it, is that the people and the people that are interested in business are usually passionate about the business, itself. So let me give you an example. A good friend that we know owns a couple of businesses, and what the business does isn't as exciting to him as the ability for him to make the business operate. And so his passion is building a business, growing a business, and creating something. So his creative process is focused on creating businesses, which I find a lot of entrepreneurs are that way. So when you look at what the business is compared to what the individual's passionate about, there's no logical connection. There's no obvious connection. And I think there's probably more connection there than you would think. However, like somebody that starts a dog walking school, or somebody that starts a kennel. You see all these dog kennel babysitting places around? Have you seen
those?
They're
popping up all over the place.
Popping up all over.
Mobile dog grooming. Play dates for your pets.
Yeah. So somebody like that has to have some sort of affinity for animals, right?
I don't know. That's my question to you, because can't you go and just buy a daycare center and let somebody else run it that has a passion for kids,
Yeah. Yeah, you can. And I would say, your passion is for the money that it generates.
There you go. Not the kids, the money that's coming in.
Not the money the kids bring in. That's the beauty of life, though, Marian. That's the beauty of life, is the fact that it's really about finding. I just posted on Instagram this morning, and it's like, you cannot outwork your own limitation. the limitation that you have in your mind, no matter how hard you work, no matter how many hours you work or spend or grind and hustle and all this kind of stuff, if the limitation is in your own mind and your own attitude, you'll never get past it. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that up to a point. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs work by themselves, and so that would be the case. But if you have a team and you know what you're really good at, and it's something totally different than growing the business or creating the products that are going to be sold in the business, I think you can remove yourself and your limiting beliefs and hire the right people. I really do believe that. But the person that is really making that business go, they have to have that solid mindset of growth and prosperity. And in my opinion, that thing that brings a business to life is really about the attitude. So I do believe that to be true. And it could be a dream that you have that is the furnace, the fire that you're putting in, right?
Yeah.
But even if your limiting beliefs stop you and you realize it, you can you can go around it. In my opinion, I think you can.
Yeah. And so many business owners, they say, "Hey, I don't know anything about the business, and that's why I hire smart people."
Exactly. So my point is that if you know what your limitations are, whether it's your mindset or whether it's your ability, I'm going to give you another real quick story. I started a business doing networking for small businesses. So we had law firms and medical centers and things like that wanted networking, computer networking, not business networking. Right. And we had to go out and get a certification as a woman-owned business to do some things that we wanted to do. It took us over a year. My secretary and I, it took us over a year to get through all the paperwork and to prove that we really were a woman-owned business and that we had what it took. And do you know that they declined us the first time? So my mind went, what? Wait a minute. I'm a woman and I own a business. How can you decline me my certification as a woman-owned business? And they didn't tell me at the time, but I found out later that their reason for it was that I was not the Microsoft engineer. If my Microsoft engineer, who was ahead of the technicians, if they died or left the business, then I wouldn't have a business. And I thought, now that is the most incredibly stupid thing I've ever heard. I'm the business owner. I can hire another Microsoft engineer to run the technicians and to be in charge. Don't you find that amazing?
That's fascinating.
Talk about the mindset.
Yes.
You don't have to be everything in your business. You can farm out all the rest that you're not the best of.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Well, we've talked about this many times offline is ideally the most productive businesses are the ones where the owners don't have to be in the business, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's amazing to me how many different attitudes and mindsets are out there. And one of the things that is always consistent, and I'm going to go back to our original topic, is have a strategy to get your branding, your message, your media, how you're connecting with individuals. And in our opinion, in our experience, having your own website, having your own platform, and also creating an email list and building relationships. We've talked about this in past shows. Is 2018 is the year of relationships, and people are always coming back. And if you're not developing a relationship with your community, I think you're going to find 2018 to be very challenging. Wouldn't you agree, Marian?
Yes, and I want to encourage people that are just thinking about starting a business, or the business that you've started is just not gelling. I want to encourage you to reach out to some business coaches that can help you find that right business for you. Because if your heart's not in it, and you're, and the, money may or may not come in, that's really not the point here, is it? It's a sustainable, consistent business that you really, really, really have um, an opportunity to build those relationships with your customers, with your prospects, all the different things that come into play. I think it's important. I do know an awful lot of business coaches, and they're talking about 2018 and getting going. If your heart's not in it, you're going to make excuses. You're going to do things that,
Oh yeah.
that stall you.
And it's fascinating to me that, and quite honestly, I mean, I've had this challenge as well because I want to figure things out. So it's really difficult for me to ask for help when in fact, the first thing I should be doing is asking for help. Right. And you've coached me along this path, and every year it gets easier. And back when you're mentioning networking, and back when I'm in the corporate world, when I had an entire team, and I could delegate things, that was easy when everybody was available. And so there are times, though, when you're building your business, you don't know who to reach out to. So I love the idea that you mentioned, get a coach, because not only is a coach able to see things from a new perspective and kind of, step outside of where you are, and they're typically able to see, and they have other connections that you don't have in your business yet. So they're able to connect you with people that have expertise in areas that you're struggling. So they can plug it in, a CPA, or, somebody that knows technology, or any number of skills that you're looking for. So that's tremendous idea to share, and be open and be vulnerable about it, because, not everybody wants to ask for help, and it's usually the best way to get there.
I agree. And it's maybe not necessarily a traditional type coach that you're going to be looking for. It could be a technology coach. It could be, business marketing coach.
Right.
I recommend that you don't just hire the first person that says something that you're interested in. Check them out. Ask for references. Do the things that I think that you should do before you spend that money. I know a lot of people who spend thousands, sometimes $10,000 or more on a coach, and it doesn't get them anywhere because they forget to tell them, you know what, just because you have this coach, that doesn't mean your website's going to get built. That doesn't mean your social media is going to get done. That doesn't mean that your technology is taken care of. So you have to look at the big picture when you're
Right.
looking at someone that can help you build your business.
Yeah.
Marketing is only one part of it. There's the technology. There's all the other things that go into it. So be careful when you start looking, that you're not just buying one piece and now all your money's gone and you can't get the other pieces.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this online, or during a podcast, or on iTunes or someplace, hey, a like and share is great. Love it, appreciate it. We're building up our YouTube channel. I'd love it if you would show us some love and subscribe. And we're in the blog post that we've created, this little series. I think today, more than any other time in history, is we're seeing that just having a website is no longer everything that you need. You need to have a few other things in place.
I'm sorry about my little doggy. Today we're having a snow day here in Houston, and and people are out shoveling the snow.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I did look outside, and my car is covered in ice. So I don't know. There's definitely no lawn care going on out there. So I didn't know she'd be barking. Sorry about
No
that.
driving, no driving.
Oh no.
So, so this blog post series, we're talking about different tools and how to build a platform out. So I encourage you to go check that out at agency250.com/blog, and make sure that you become aware of all of the other elements like email, social media, the website, how to write a blog post, the process, and some of the tools that you can use. There's so many tools available out there in the technology that's available that it's getting easier and more accessible, and nobody has to give you permission. You already have permission. Here, we give you permission today. You can start a blog post, you can start a website, you can start anything you need. And you can ask us, reach out to us if you need help, or if you have a question or anything like that. So would you agree? I mean, do we need to have more than a website, Marian?
Oh my goodness. I have clients that don't even have a website, and they have a thriving business. Matter of fact, I just checked on one of my clients the other day. She has 8 million subscribers on YouTube. 8 million. And she doesn't have a regular website. Yes, we built her a store, but that's, it's separate than a regular traditional website. So no,
Sure.
You don't have to go the traditional way.
Right.
If you want us to help you, we'll look at your whole business, your thought process, what you've been doing, what's working, what's working for other people, and we'll figure out a path that's right for you.
That kind of ties into.
That's exactly what Russ and I needed. Sometimes when you're in your own business, you can't see the things that other people can see clearly.
Right.
We talked to a really nice guy. Not only is he nice, but he's very smart about sales. Because let's face it, we're entrepreneurs. We have a thriving business that is that we're passionate about, but we can't always see the things that we need to see. So looking at it from that perspective is really important, I think. And trusting that person. So masterminds are great. Business coaches are great. Technology coaches are great. All these things can work together. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love looking at other people's businesses and finding the holes.
And that's the whole purpose of our show, is marketing ideas that work. And that doesn't necessarily mean marketing ideas that are working for us, as much as we just notice them in the market, and we notice what other people are doing.
Interviewing people, asking them the right questions.
Yeah. I mean, authors, speakers, event coordinators. There's so many different kinds of businesses. We're just constantly curious about how they're operating, what's working for them, and we want to bring that information to you. So, marketing ideas, agency258.com, access us anytime. And I know, Marian, you've got other blog posts. You can track down Marian LaSalle anytime, anywhere. And I'm out there, running around on social media, Russ Johns. You're
out there running around.
We can be found, right? So we encourage you to reach out, ask for help, ask questions, and get involved and engaged in your audience. It's pretty simple.
And we're going to be interviewing some really cool people here. You're going to see. I highly recommend that you come back every week and check out the marketing ideas that work. We really appreciate you, our audience. You are who we're working for. We keep you in mind. So ask your questions. Let us interview the right people. If you have some suggestions, let us know. We want to give you what it is that's going to make your business thrive.
Yes. Stay alive in 2018. So any other events coming up?
Oh my goodness, yes. If you go to agency258.com and sign up for our newsletter, and you're in the Houston area, you're going to find all kinds of events that are going on. We definitely send that out. There's great opportunities for networking and building your business. I just absolutely love the business community here in Houston. So I think that we can bring those people online here anytime.
Yep.
But if you want to be in person, check it out. Agency258.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll get up-to-date information.
And also, if you're in Arizona, hit me up because I'd love to connect with you as well here in sunny Arizona, where it's a little warmer than Houston today.
What is the weather there today, Russ?
Let's see what the weather is. I'm not really sure.
It was 28 the last time I checked. Let me ask Siri.
Yeah. Let's do a weather check before we
sign
off.
Temperature, please.
It's 28 degrees outside.
Wow.
I know. It's awful.
Wow. Well, here it's 60.
Okay. All right. Still cool, but not cold.
No, not cold. Well, this has been a great Tuesday morning. I love these opportunities to get together, Marian, and talk about what we're passionate about and what we love. And so, like I said, agency258.com, that's our home base. We can be found on YouTube, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher,
Google Play,
Crowdcast, any number of places. I put links in the show notes for this episode. So if you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher or Spreaker, you can actually go to agency258.com/show and get all the updates. So until next week, Marian, enjoy your day.
Stay warm, y'all.
Thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.